What's going on, guys? My name is Connor, and today I'm doing a video on the Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille Eau De Parfun. This is going to be my first fragrance review for you guys, and I think it's going to be a great one because this is probably the most sought after Tom Ford cologne, just behind the effing fabulous one. And it's actually my favorite overall from all the Tom Ford fragrances that I've owned. I've owned quite a few, and I also own a few other Louis Vuitton, Dior, Creed colognes. And this is in my lineup for my top 4 favorite colognes, period, out of all the ones I've owned. So hopefully I can answer every single question for you guys if you guys are deciding whether or not to pay the hefty price tag that comes along with this cologne. And obviously, if I don't answer everything, make sure to leave it down in the comments. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so I'll just give you guys a real quick look at it. As you guys can tell, it is the 50 milliliter bottle, Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille Eau De Parfum. You guys can kind of see the color of it, as well as the little cap on it. It's just a little rose gold. It's just gonna pop off like such, and nothing too special about it, not magnetic, nothing crazy. You're definitely just paying for the cologne itself, okay? But just to give you guys the best feeling of the cologne, because I know obviously you guys aren't gonna be able to smell it through the video. When Tom Ford was creating this cologne, it was really an attempt, in his words, to give off an impression of power and confidence. Those were the words he used, and he does not use that with every single cologne. And just so you guys know, the idea kind of came from the original tobacco. But what he did was he added a few ingredients such as tonka bean, vanilla, cocoa, dry fruit, and sweet wood sap. So if you guys can kind of imagine, if you guys have smelled the Tom Ford original tobacco cologne, or just tobacco in general, when tobacco colognes come out, obviously they're not just gonna be like straight tobacco, they're gonna have some sort of sweetness to them. This is that, but with the sweetness to an extreme. I feel like that's the best way to possibly describe it. And Tom Ford himself describes this fragrance as opulent, warm, and iconic. And the word that he used right there that I could really agree with is warm. Because when you wear this cologne, it really does give off a warm feeling. And whenever I choose to wear it, it's not something that I'm going to wear when I am outside working or like traveling. It's more one for when it's like a coffee shop, or maybe even like a work setting, just somewhere where it's just like a more warm feeling, okay? Especially when it's during the winter time, or especially when it's not like the summer where you're sweating a lot. This is when you want to wear it, when you're layered up. And something else that I've noticed when I'm wearing this cologne is that it's one of my strongest fragrances that I own. So I don't know if he purposely did that. So if people are cold and they put it under their layers, that they can still smell it. But that's an interesting use, because I can put it on my skin and I can layer up with a shirt, crew neck, and a jacket over, and you'll still be able to smell it because it is very, very strong. I like to go with 1 or 2 sprays, and I can still go like look down as I'm driving home after a long day at work and still smell this cologne after. And something that I found interesting is, at first when you spray it on, I'll just spray it on so I can best describe it. It's pretty strong and it's more of like a cocoa smell. But when you wear it a little bit more, and maybe you smell it after a few hours, or maybe after just a tiny bit of sweat or moving around, it kind of adds more tobacco to it. Tobacco, but it still stays sweet. Then it's more like a oak wood, if that makes sense. It goes from more of like, it really just goes to like more of like a wood sap kind of smell. So I'm doing my absolute best to describe this for you guys. I know I have not done a fragrance review for you guys yet, so this is really just to test the waters and see what I'm able to do with it. But as far as the perks of wearing this cologne, as far as the pluses, I would say that it lasts a long time. You can put it under different layers, and it's very, very noticeable. So I'd say even Creed, that's one of the most sought after colognes out there right now, and it's super expensive, and I'll actually be doing a video on it soon. I actually have a bottle right now. You put that, which probably gets the most compliments out of any cologne, next to this, 2 people standing next to each other, and this will probably dominate the other person, because it's just, it kind of covers up other smells. Like, it's something where I feel like you could put this cologne onto someone who's dirty, who hasn't showered for a little bit, and is just not the cleanest person, and really make them smell a whole lot better. It seems like it would cover up odor, it would cover up other fragrances, and really just be the dominating smell in the room. And I would say that as a good thing and a bad thing, because if you're someone who sprays more than twice, maybe like 3 or 4 times, any more than 4 especially, and you're walking into a room full of people, maybe in like an office setting, they're gonna smell you. And when you wear fragrances, you guys should know as gentlemen that you don't want it to be where you walk into a room and everyone smells you. You want it to be where if someone's close to you, maybe talking like from the distance I am to my phone right now, you want it to be like you want to go a little bit closer to it because it's a little bit, I guess you can say kind of attractive-ish, but not something that you can smell like from across the room. And so if you spray to the extreme and you spray more than 3 or 4 times, then obviously you're going to get that super strong smell in the room that people are going to get annoyed with, and you're probably going to give the person next to you a headache from like the tobacco smell. But assuming that you put 1 or 2 and you wear a couple layers, you will be good to go. And as far as my advice for where to spray it, I suggest 1 spray like on the shoulder right here, and then 1 spray right here, and just air it out a little bit. Air it out because that smell, like, it seems like it goes up and it will go in. So as long as it's kind of like moist and right when you do it, you'll be able to spread the fragrance and the smell of it without having to spray it all over and stink up the whole room. But I would give this cologne probably a 9 out of 10. And it's definitely not an everydayer. That is another con of it. This is not something that I would wear every single day, and it's not something that I would really wear during the summer. This is something where, like I said, maybe during the winter in a colder setting, when you're layered up, I'm a real estate agent, so maybe when I'm wearing a jacket inside as well, I'll put it under. And granted, I'm not super close with a bunch of people during the office. It's pretty spread out, but it's one that I maybe wear once every couple weeks, or if I'm going to something fancy. But actually a really good setting is if you're going out to dinner and maybe you're sitting outside. That's a really good setting, and that's probably where I would use this the most. But that pretty much covers it. I really hope I described that. Again, it's like the tobacco smell with tonka bean, vanilla, cocoa, dry fruit, and sweet wood sap. So just imagine that. Add sweetness, wood, sap, vanilla, tonka bean to the original tobacco smell. And obviously when Tom Ford designed it, he made it a little bit sweeter. So it's just sweetness to the extreme, and it changes over time, and obviously it will go from more of like a vanilla tobacco flavor to more of like a wood sort of smell after a few hours. But if you guys have any questions, make sure to hit me up on Instagram at car.langley, or just leave it down in the comments and I'll be happy to help you guys. And also give me some feedback. I don't know if you guys really like fragrance videos. I don't know if you guys would rather just have me review some Louis Vuitton like I've been doing. You guys have seemed to like those videos, but just let me know down in the comments. I'm obviously very open and I will make sure to respond to you guys, but that's pretty much it. And I just wanted to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.